Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Terry and I focus mainly on fountain pen reviews, but also some rollerballs and the occasional pencil and also some art here and there. And in today's video, I'm going to go through my currently inked for the month of November. I have 10 pens plus a few extras that I'll go through. So let's get started. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. First pen up is the Opus 88 Omar. I've had this pen for quite a while. You can see there's some of the staining up at the cap, and that does not come out there. I can probably get rid of, but that up there looks like it's pretty permanent. But other than that, I pretty much love this pen. I've only had Diamond Spruce in it. So this is the Opus 88. And this is the Omar. And here we have an extra fine. It's a steel nib. It's a JoWo steel nib. And again, the ink is Diamond Spruce. It's a very firm nib. Nice in reverse. Nice extra fine in reverse. So that's the Opus 88 Omar. There's the nib. It's an eyedropper. It's similar to the Opus 88 Demo. It's just a little bit more rounded. Next we have the Azvine V200, and this is in the rainbow colors, you can see. So Azvine. V200. This is a fine. Another firm nib. This railroad when I press down on it. Also works very nice in reverse. And this is inked with Diamond Festa Red. So you can see there the rainbow pattern. And a little bit of ink left. Not too much. But very nice pen, the Azvine V200. Very nice. Very nice back filler. Next we have the Jinhao 1935 Tiandao. This is a black one. This model, the Tiandao, is one of my favorite Jinhaos. So Jinhao 1935 Tiandao. Probably saying that wrong. And this is a fine, a very fairly thick writing fine. Skipping a little bit today, but it's been pretty reliable. Not sure why it's skipping today. Nice in reverse. It's very much doable in reverse. This is the ink I have in it. You see how clear that is? This is Andurilium Flapjack Orange, which it's clear in the pen, but it has a nice consistency down on the page. I usually don't go for orange inks or very thin inks, but I love how this goes down on the paper. There's the nib. It's a number 8 nib, number 8 fine nib. Plastic feed. I think this pen is about $14 or $15. Has this nice big converter in it. The kind of converter that you'll see in the 9019s. But very nice pen. The clip, you know, it's a little goofy, but was quite goofy, but I can ignore something like that. Next we have the Hongdian A9. This is a piston filler. It's a little pseudo ink window there, kind of like the narwhals. It's another number 8 nib with a nice ebonite feed. I think this pen is about $35 maybe. So Hongdian. This is a fine steel. A little bit of line weight variation. And the no railroading because the ebonite feed helps it. Guess there's a little bit of railroading if you press it too hard. But so that's the Hongdian A9. Very nice pen. I didn't quite care for the combination of the Robert Oster whiskey and the A9. I think the dryness of that ink and the fine nib just didn't go very well together. But in a different pen, I think the whiskey is fine. Quite a few of my Robert Oster inks are dry. This pen is the Waterman 54. And when I was doing these sheets yesterday, this one was pretty much dry. So I'm going to dip this for today's video. It's a lever filler. Has some engraving there. Says 54 there. It's a medium 14 karat nib. I guess it's a medium. Waterman used to use colors to indicate size, so I'm not sure what this is. It feels like a medium. And my swatch that I did last night, for some reason it came out really dark, and I know I cleaned this pen, so there shouldn't be any remnants in it, but you can see there's like it's black really. And Tasya Uma Murasaki is really kind of a dark pink. So I'm not sure what happened. This is how the swatch looked right after cleaning. So it looks more like Tasya Uma Murasaki should look. Maybe there was a leftover piece of black in the sack. I'm not sure. I don't recall using black in this pen, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Usually I use Waterman in my Waterman vintage pens, but the Tasya looks pretty safe. It's really easy to change the sacks on these. Now, I won't use any shimmer or anything in it, but I'll definitely use a non-Waterman ink. Nothing with heavy sheen or, of course, like I said, shimmer. But this is the Waterman's 54. And as I said, I just dipped this. And I'm going to say this is a medium. 14 karat. And the ink in here is Tasya Uma Murasaki. And this is a nice flex. You see there? This nib I found it to be a little scratchy, so I could probably use a little work on it. So I'm gonna give it another good cleaning and maybe try it again. Smooth out the nib a little bit. I have quite a few Waterman Red Ripples. This is probably, because of the little scratchiness of the nib, it's not quite my favorite. But I do like these. That's a Waterman's 54. Next 5. One of my favorite Cross pens. This is the Cross Townsend. This one is the Year of the Rat. And this is a fine also. It's a steel nib. Very, you can hear the feedback, but it's very smooth. Nice in reverse. This is a part of their Zodiac series. Also have the Year of the Pig. I think the Year of the Goat. So somewhere on here, you can see there's a rat. And there's the nib. It's a thick writing fine. There's the feed. It's a cartridge converter. So that's the Cross Year of the Rat. And this is inked with Rangel, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Nice dark green with quite a bit of sheen. So next up is the Gioia Partenope. This is the Into the Night, which was a Pen Chalet exclusive. I have a shimmer in here. The ink does work. I work in the pen, but it does, you can see it gunks up quite a bit in it. But this is an Ebonite pen. And I have number 50 of 50. It's a cartridge converter as well. And it has some pattern on there. I don't remember the significance of the pattern. So Gioia. You see another nice writer. It's Pen Chalet exclusive. I have a few other Gioia Partenopes. One gives me trouble, but the others are fine. Another firm nib. Very nice in reverse. This is inked with Diamine Enchanted Seas, which is there's quite a bit of shimmer in it. Let me see if I can find it. Is it Enchanted Seas or Shimmering Seas? So it's Shimmering Seas, not Enchanted Seas. I think I'm confusing it with Enchanted Ocean. And there it is in the bottle. So that's the Partenope Into the Night. Next, one of my favorite Mont Blancs is the Mont Blanc 222. It's a vintage pen that copies a bit from the Lamy 2000. It's a cartridge converter. I also have the piston filler version, which looks quite a bit more like the Lamy 2000, but this is made of Macrolon, like the 2000. Mont Blanc there. And this is a really crisp, extra fine 222. And this is, it doesn't say this an extra fine on the nib, but I'm just calling it extra fine. It may actually be an extra fine. I'm not sure what Mont Blanc considers this, but it is nice. I love writing with this. Scratchy in reverse. And the ink that I have in here is a cartridge, as I showed you. It's a Mont Blanc Around the World in 80 Days. I thought I had the brown version of Around the World in 80 Days, but apparently I had the blue. So another blue ink. Two fountain pens left. The next is the Pineider Alchemist. This is Stromboli. Nice springy clip. And this is just a label. I've talked a bit about this pen on this on my channel. This also is some kind of a lava composite as well, like the Visconti Homo Sapiens. There's the nib. Plastic feed. This is a cartridge converter. The converter is giving me quite a bit of trouble. As you can see, it's leaking. And this is also, I taped it the last time and it's still leaking. And yeah, I definitely need to get another converter for it. And I also have to prime it quite a bit because the ink floats to the back. So I got this to write nicely, but I'm still having issues with that converter. So Pineider Alchemist and Stromboli is the color. And this is a fine. It's a little thick because I had to do a lot of work to get this writing. But it's still a nice fine. Firm. Writes nicely in reverse. So nice writers. Just I still have some work to do on this pen. Very frustrating. It's inked with Private Reserve Ebony Violet. That's pretty much been the only ink that I've used in here. It's a magnetic cap. So that's the Alchemist. And last are the fountain pens. We have another frustrating pen. The most expensive pens, which were these last two, were definitely the most frustrating for the month. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens. And this is the Bronze Age. This is my first Visconti. You see the skipping. This is a medium 18 karat. I do believe somehow I've done something to the tines. And they have become misaligned somehow. It is better than it was earlier in the month, but just needs a little bit more tweaking. This is a vac filler, of course, and it's inked with Tassia Sabumidori and the little Aurora Borealis. It's a little bit of a mixture there. It's mixed because I keep Aurora Borealis at my desk, so I was working a little bit on it at my desk and tried to fill it up a little bit. It's very hard. I have a hard time filling this pen because there's no ink window, so I have no idea how much ink is in here, and I believe there may be some kind of issue with the seal. So someone worked on both of these. I think this was maybe $300, and this was quite a bit more. Very similar in some ways, but really similar in the frustration this month. They still very nice writers. They just need a little TLC. And so those are the fountain pens. I'm going to show you my inks, and I've had a couple of people ask me how I do my swatches, so I'll show you that. And then I have my extras that I also wrote with. It never fails that when I start to do my video, I move my video creation setup to the front of the house, and it never fails. As soon as I start doing my videos, the neighbors start carrying on, and now we have, I don't know, a fire truck or something So let me let that die down. So here are the inks. Diamine Spruce in the Opus 88. And when I cleaned the Opus 88, it was really, I don't think I dried it well enough, because you can see here how light it was. It almost looked like Diamine Metal. But luckily, you know, it darkened up over the month. So it's Diamine Spruce. One of my favorite inks is Diamine Spruce. Private Reserve Fiesta Red in the Asvine B200. Andrellium Flapjack Orange in the Jinhao 1935. Robert Oster Whiskey in the Hongdian A9. Tasia Umi Murasaki in the Waterman's 54. Ringold For Whom the Bell Tolls in the Cross Townsend Year the Rat. Diamine Enchanted, what did I say? It's not Enchanted Seas. What did I say it was? Shimmering Seas? I got this all wrong. Shimmering Seas. In the Gioia Partenope. I'm going to make sure there's not actually an Enchanted Seas here. So I have Enchanted Ocean. Let me make sure I didn't use Enchanted Ocean. Maybe it's Enchanted Ocean. I have no clue what's in this pen. This is Shimmering Seas. Yeah, I think it's Enchanted Ocean. Shimmering Seas is more of a purple. So it's Enchanted Ocean, not Enchanted Seas. Between the noise outside and my flubs, I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out. But it's okay. So next we have the Mont Blanc 222 with Around the World, Mont Blanc Around the World in 80 Days cartridge. We have the Pinata Alchemist Stromboli with the Private Reserve Ebony Violet. And then we have the Visconti Homo Sapiens with a combination of Tasia Sabi Midori and Diamine Aurora Borealis. I think I had what it looked like at the beginning of the month. I should, before I added the Aurora Borealis. And that's what it looked like before. Just a little less green with only Tasia. And so I'm going to show you how I do my swatches and show you some extras. I wouldn't really call them swatches, as I'm not doing the typical swatch. I'm more doodling to see how the ink looks in the pen. I think the doodles show me a little bit better how the ink is going to perform in the pen. But before I do that, I'll show you my extras. It's just some off-brand. This is a refillable rollerball. I've shown this on the channel before. I have a few refillable rollerballs. This is Shanofi. I think this is a 0.38 maybe. Very extra fine liner. And this is a piston filler. So I really enjoy it. Very inexpensive. I got a whole pack of them. I don't know, probably like $14, $15 for a pack of 5. But I really liked it. And I have Tasia Sabi Midori in this. No issues with leaking at all. There were some people in the review said that it leaked, but I haven't had any issues with it leaking. You see the cap is clean, and I just kind of have it rolling around in my bag, not protected, and it's held up. The piston knob here is a lot of play in it, but no issues. Plus I have the extra 4 if something should go wrong. Next is the Uniball Zento. The Zento Signature, which I see is still out of stock in most places unless you want to pay a little extra. This is a 0.51. This is definitely I think my best buy of the year. I have 2 of them that I paid $98 for the 2 of them from Japan, so I paid quite a bit more than they are retail. And people in the comments do remind me that I know I paid more, but I really wanted the pen. I don't know why it's taking so long for Uniball to produce these pens, but I'm happy with them. I wouldn't pay twice the price again. Uniball needs to just get their production together. I had hoped to get one as a gift for a viewer, but yeah, I've been waiting. I've been looking for them to come in stock. I think the normal retail price is about $28, and yeah, they're not. I don't know what's going on. The last pen is a pen that this is actually a fountain pen that I just recently got. My job actually has a gift shop, and then I guess they made some deal with Lamy, so they had a whole Lamy section. So this is an AL Star. They also had the normal Safaris. They had the LXs. They had a Pico as well. I'm not sure if they had any studios, but the name of the agency is on the other side, but I will keep that on the down low. That's the Lamy AL Star in Tourmaline. So I'll use this to show you how I do I'll put swatch in quotation marks. I do the usual swatches in I have other swatch books that I have, and I'll use the paper bag method, and I'll use other like little acrylic tools and that to spread it out nicely. But for this, I like to just see how the pen is going to behave, how the pink and ink combinations are going to behave. So I'll just make half of a rectangle there. This is if I want to do it neatly. If I don't want to do it neatly, I don't draw these lines, but this is how I start. And I just do this. I had dog paws in this month's video, but I usually use the circles. So I try to make it really light on the right side, and then darker on the left side, so you can see how the ink how it looks when you really press down and take your time versus say how you write maybe in reverse or fast. So that's all I'm doing there. And I try to, at least for my videos, I try to make it neat. So that's all I'm doing, and then I'll wet a Q-tip and this shows me typically how wet the ink is and how water fast it is. As you can see, some inks don't, they don't spread quite as nicely. Say the Robert Oster whiskey was a struggle to get it, and the Tassia Murasaki Umi. But for the most part, most of these were pretty easy to spread with the wet Q-tip. And so for this, I just draw half of a circle and do the same thing. And this is inked with just a blue cartridge that came with the pen. You can see this Lamy blue is kind of a little blue with some purple. So I'll do that. And then I take the wet Q-tip again and try to, as I'm going to the right, I try to use less ink so it shows how it looks when it's really dry. So that's it. It's nothing fancy. It's just mostly me doodling. And so this is every month when I ink up my pens, I do the same thing every month. So this has been going on for September 2024. I've been doing this every month without fail. So I think it looks pretty nice. I do like, as I said, the paper bag method and all that, but this just gives me a feel of how the pen is going to look when I'm writing with it. You see, some pens, like I said, are just really a struggle to get the ink to flow when the Q-tip is wet. As soon as they go down, they just dry. But you see, like this platinum cartridge, as soon as it went down, it was pretty much dry. But that's my acrylic ink for the month. I'm making a mess. As far as my favorites, let's see, my favorite of the month, I would say it's definitely the Cross. I have enjoyed this Lamy Ale Star, but I just got that, so. And I would say, of course, the Mont Blanc and the Opus 88 were my favorite of the month. So that's all for my acrylic inks for November 2025. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and I will catch you next time. Take care.